Welcome to the Gloria Show, where personal growth takes center stage. Founder and CEO of Personal Dynamics, Gloria Sloan, shares practical strategies to enrich your life, elevate your mindset, and empower your journey. As she reminds us, ultra-successful people never stop learning, reaching, and growing. Get ready for fresh insights and uplifting inspiration. Here's your host, Gloria Sloan.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gloria Show. I am so happy that you could join me today. And do we have a wonderful show planned for you today? I am so excited about what we're going to talk about. Faith, friends, finesse, and the hidden power of shoes. And representing and looking at October as being Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We're going to talk about those three things, but this is something that we could talk about anytime, all year long, because it's so endearing and it's so touching, and it has information that can be carried on throughout the year. Breast Cancer Awareness Month is information, it's sharing, and we're going to do all of that today with our amazing guest, Dorchelle Spence. She is going to just jump in just a few minutes and talk about her journey, her experience, her diagnosis with triple negative breast cancer that she certainly wasn't ready for. She had a career, a teenage daughter, a husband managing law business, 3 stepsons, a chronically ill mother. She had so many things going on, but she built her own foxhole and she just went after it. And instead of just sitting down onto the battlefield, she just jumped out and decided that, okay, this is not going to get the best of me. And now she is the voice of faith. And we're going to hear her talk about the hidden power of shoes. Now, most of us love shoes and we love to be able to have different pairs to put on at different times. So it's going to be so exciting to hear her take on how the power of shoes helped her as she was overcoming, as she was, challenged to take care of her health, take care of her family, take care of those things that meant a lot. And she relied on faith, family, friends, and just holding on to all that she could to do this. Dorchelle Spence is an author. She's a certified writing coach, a motivational speaker, and she's just a leading voice for self-advocacy and cancer survival. And we're going to talk about her books and all the things that she has added to bring about more awareness as she is a survivor of breast cancer. So please, welcome to the show today, my guest, Dorchelle Spence.
Thank you, Gloria. That was wonderful. I'm delighted to be here.
Thank you so much for joining me today. And I gave a brief sharing of who you are, but I want you to share with the audience what you do and how you just came about to start doing what you're doing. You have an amazing background of being a trailblazer and many different things, but I want you to please share with the audience, if you will, your journey and what it is that got you to the point of where now you are stepping out on stage and talking about your journey.
Thank you. Well, my journey started in 2016 with my battle with cancer, and people call it a journey, and I really don't like that terminology. When you're diagnosed with cancer, you're not going on a journey; you're entering a fight. A journey for me is going to Paris or Lisbon or London. That's a journey. That's fun. Cancer is a battle for your life. And I feel very fortunate to be here with you today, Gloria, and to talk to folks across the country and around the world about what happens with women when they first encounter cancer, whether they feel it themselves or whether a diagnostic tool reveals it. But it's immediately a devastating um, piece of news, and how we work through that is critically important. How we move through this fight, this battlefield you mentioned earlier, how we maneuver critically.
Okay. Well, I want to ask you if you don't mind sharing first up, because I had to just kind of do some research myself in case there's someone out there wondering what is a diagnosis of triple negative breast cancer. Can you
Yes,
tell us
triple
about?
negative breast cancer is frequently the diagnosis in women of color. Brown and Black people are more likely to have triple negative. And what that means is there are markers on the cancer that say, yes, there's a targeted treatment for estrogen or progesterone or some other hormonal target. But many times with Black and Brown people, there are no targeted therapies. And so when you get the diagnosis of triple negative is because there's no targeted treatment there, it has a higher instance of fatality. And so it is a difficult fight ahead for those folks. In my case, I was diagnosed triple negative, but the diagnosis was incorrect. I was actually not triple negative. I did have a HER2 positive, which is a lost my word, a hormone that can be targeted.
Okay. Okay. So your diagnosis was not exactly that. There was a little more to it once.
Exactly. And that's where self-advocacy comes in, and looking at your own pathology. And I was listening to the doctor, and the doctor was telling me that I was triple negative, but my pathology showed that there was a targeted therapy, that I was a HER2 positive. And so it turned out that my oncologist, so I have two doctors, an oncologist and an oncology surgeon. And the surgeon, he made an error based on how I look, that I'm a brown person, and that it must be triple negative. But the pathology was my oncologist pointed out. So then I started to take everything a whole lot more seriously and realized that doctors can make mistakes, they can make errors, and my surgeon was fabulous aside from that one mistake.
Sorry.
And so you have to look at your own pathology. You have to read it and understand it. You have to use Google. You have to talk to physicians. You have to advocate for yourself and know your own disease.
And I guess you learn a lot about your body in the process to know where you stand with, everything that's going on in your body. So upon the diagnosis, and as you say, it just hit you, this was a very sudden thing. You had no idea of any history background or anything that set you up for this. This was just, the diagnosis.
Well, no, the truth is I started getting mammograms at the age of 30 because of my family history.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
And so I was getting annual mammograms. My mammograms never showed anything. It always came back dense breast tissue, inconclusive, no findings. And in fact, by the time I felt the lump, it had moved out of my breast and was in my lymph node under my arm. And I felt it in the shower one day. I was bathing myself, and I was like, it was that big. It was a gumball under my arm, and I could wiggle it. And so then I was like, okay, let's see what's going on over here. And I felt over here and there was nothing. And so I immediately knew in my heart, this was a lump. This was cancer. I got out of the shower. I almost called my husband to get in the shower and come feel it, but I didn't do that. I was patient. I got out of the shower, dried off, and I came to my husband. I was like, feel this. And he did. And then he said, lift your other arm, which I did. And he was like, okay, you should see your doctor. And then he went right back to reading the newspaper. And I was like, okay. But the truth is he knew and I knew, and neither one of us could say it because, you need a doctor. So that started the process. That was April 16th. And by May, I was in chemotherapy.
April, and then by May. So it was that quick of a turnaround.
Yes. I got the biopsy. It was stage 2B, which is just before stage 3, because it had moved out of my breast and into the lymphatic system. And so fortunately for me, it was confined within those lymph nodes. It had not metastasized throughout the body. And so we caught it in time. And I went through 2 years of chemotherapy and 36 radiation treatments.
2 years and 36 rounds of radiation.
Yes.
Okay. And you managed it all well because you were fighting.
I was in a fight for my life.
In a fight for your life.
Yes.
We're just so glad that fight did not end, that you kept fighting. And as you were fighting, tell me, you were planning and already you had a positive attitude about how you were going to come out of it because you kept going and you knew that once this is over, after that 2 years and when everything happened and you rang the bell? Is that what happens? Yes. You were ready to really continue the fight. You didn't just say, okay, this is done, I'm over. You then proceeded to do more.
Yes. I wanted to write about this experience so that, twofold. One, once a person is diagnosed with cancer, they want to read they may want to read as much as they can and understand what's going on with them. So I wrote a book to detail from the day I felt the lump to the day I rang the bell. Everything that happened, all the doctor's visits, all of the decision points. But I wrote it more for the person who loves the person diagnosed, so that they could understand what the patient has to endure, what the patient might be feeling emotionally, physically, spiritually, the assaults, the attacks, so that the caregiver or the loved one can be more compassionate, can understand where the patient is. And that's why I wrote Into the Gathering Clouds.
That's in your memoir. So we're going to talk about that book in a few minutes. But what I'd like for you to do is tell me, you picked up your main career and you had a couple of other things that you had done prior to that. But tell us about how this impacted your career, what you were doing, and how that kind of was woven into your whole survival process.
Yes. So at the time of diagnosis, I was vice president for a nonprofit that managed the riverfront in Memphis, Tennessee. And it's like when you have any kind of tragedy in your life, there's a moment when you find out, when it hits, whenever that turn of life happens, where it's devastating and you want the world to stop and acknowledge that this terrible thing has happened, whether that's a divorce or a death or any traumatic experience in your life. You need the world to stop. But as you know, Gloria, as the professional that you are, that no, business keeps going, that the meetings still happen, that the work still has to be done. the dinner still has to be cooked and the children still have to be bathed, and the games that they are attending and playing, have to be attended. I'm sorry, the games they're playing have to be attended. And so it took me a minute. I was reeling from it. And it took me a minute to really get my feet under me and realize what my schedule needed to be. And so I had chemotherapy every third week. Every 3 weeks, I had chemotherapy on a Wednesday. And it took so much out of me that I was off work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But Monday, I had to be back at it. And I had to get myself together and go to work and actually do the work. It doesn't stop. So you have to put on your armor and go out there. And for me, my armor were my clothes and shoes. That was my armor.
Tell us about the shoes. Tell me, what did you do? You just had different shoes? Did you just go shopping? Was this just like the overall fix? Tell us about those shoes.
I already had the shoes, Gloria. I can't tell you that I didn't already have the shoes. But what was important to me was to wear them, even when my knees were weak, even when I didn't think. I took very small steps, but I took steps in my big girl shoes. I was going to be a big girl. I wore my shoes, my heels, to chemotherapy treatment. I took socks with me so I could take them off and put my feet under the blanket. But I walked in with my 3-inch stilettos, my 4-inch stilettos. I walked out with my 4-inch stilettos. No matter how hard that treatment was, I was still going to be me. I was going to be a big girl. I was going to be a woman of substance. And I was going to look like a woman of substance. This was not going to kill me.
The power of shoes. I love it. I love it.
But my story about the shoes, Gloria, not to interrupt.
No, that's okay.
But to say this, however you, my audience, your audience, however you feel comfortable, that's how you go into the chemotherapy room. If your shoe of power is a running shoe because you're a runner, then wear your running shoe in and wear your running shoe out because you still are a runner. If your shoe is a wedge, baby, rock the wedge. If your shoe is a house shoe, slide on in. Be you when you go in and be you when you come out. Don't let cancer and chemotherapy change who you are.
Wow.
That's the power of shoes.
That is powerful. And so from day one, when you stepped in and started the chemo, you dressed like you put those shoes on, and it just made you feel even more empowered when you were done and finished, no matter how your body was saying, oh, you're feeling all whatever the feeling is after chemo, but you took the socks off, put your heels back on, and walked out regardless, no matter how weak or strong, how you felt.
That's right.
Continued to do that. And that gave you the empowerment every 3 weeks or however often you had to go. That was your empowerment. And on the last cycle, I have to ask this, when you went in and you knew, okay, this is it this time. I mean, did you just jump up and down and have?
I'm a crier. I'm a crier. So I just boo-hooed. It was like I had held it all in. I had tried to be strong. My mantra was positivity and courageousness. I wanted to be courageous and positive. And so I was always, when you talk to me, I was positive, I was courageous. And in that moment, I let it all down and I just cried. I just cried.
And cried, and it's okay. A good old healthy cry. You would cry for many different reasons, and that's a personal thing. Everybody has to. You have to cry to get it out, let it out, no matter what is going on, the good, the bad, the ugly. A good cry is soothing. It can just the soul helps you
That's
to
right.
deal with the tears. So it's okay to cry, but for the 2-year process, basically, it's what you went through 2 years. And then once you got through the chemo, once you did everything, you immediately continued to get back into the work mode, the career mode, and dealing with family, whatever you needed to do for the kids. And you just bounced right back and started writing and just doing all of the things. You did not stop. You would put those shoes on and continue to do everything that you needed to do to become stronger and stronger every day. And that's been 7 years ago.
7 years. I'm a 7-year survivor. Yes.
7 years when?
7-year survivor. October, in fact.
October.
October.
7 years that you have been cancer free.
Yes. Yes.
What a blessing, and what a wonderful story that that you can tell and talk about it. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I want you to share some more with the audience about where you are now, what you're doing. I want you to talk about your books and give any highlights to how someone out there who may have some questions that they really want to know about. Someone may just really be struggling right about now. So I want to give you an opportunity to do that. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Have you tuned in to the hottest personal development podcast streamed live every other Tuesday by the incredible Gloria Sloan? If you're ready to grow, elevate, and upgrade your life, then The Gloria Show is your ticket to success. Gloria believes ultra-successful people never stop reaching for new heights, learning new skills, and finding true fulfillment. If you are looking for a fresh, informed perspective on life, The Gloria Show is here to lift your spirits and tackle the challenges standing in the way of your success. Join Gloria bi-weekly as she brings her energy, insight, and over 3 decades of experience in business management and personal growth to help you unleash your power and transform your life. From personal development and career transitions to self-improvement and leadership, Gloria covers it all with practical advice and powerful resources. Laugh, cry, and be inspired as you learn how to elevate yourself to new heights. Whether you're looking to become healthier, happier, or more skillful, Gloria's got you covered, so why wait? Tune in to The Gloria Show every other Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern and start your journey to becoming the best version of you. Don't miss out on the ultimate guide to personal and professional growth. Listen bi-weekly and let Gloria Sloan help you upgrade your life.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back again to The Gloria Show. And we took a quick break, but we're back now with Dorchelle Spence. And she has been telling her story about being a 7-year breast cancer survivor. And she's talked about her journey. Well, I don't want to call it a journey. She's talked about we don't call it a journey.
Call it a fight.
Or her fight. She gave great insight about her fight. I have to remember that. It's a fight. It's not a journey. The life and the career that she contended is the journey part. And we need to keep that straight, because personal development and personal growth, as you will agree, is the journey part. And you didn't stop that, going through what you were going through. You continued to pick it up and say, okay, I'm moving forward. I'm not going to let this get the best of me. And so what we want to leave with the audience today is that there could be someone out there who has gone through the stages of what you have gone through, or something similar, or someone who has been recently diagnosed, or whatever the situation might be, or any challenges that they might face. Because we are here to uplift, to embrace, and to let a person know that regardless of wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you still have the spirit of being empowered. We want to talk about that personal development power that, you know, it was a challenge to you, but you did not give into it. So your inspiration for today, what you're telling the audience is that they can do it. They can do it. And you've written two great books that talk about it. I think one is the memoir, like you said, highlighting it mostly for the caregiver and for the person, the loved ones, so they can understand what you're going through. And then the other one is No Less Worthy.
That's right.
So would you just kind of again talk about the books and talk about the second one and how you know in your heart that these books, and especially the No Less Worthy, is a good read for someone who is looking to move forward, to take it all in and to grow stronger coming out of this situation?
Thank you. That's right. So two things. The book Into the Gathering Clouds. Into the Gathering Clouds is the book, is the memoir about my cancer journey. And one of the powerful things about this book is that I don't sugarcoat it. I don't only talk about how empowered I was and how courageous I was and how positive I was, because there were days in the closet, the literal closet, not just the prayer closet, where I was trying to get dressed for that Monday morning or that Wednesday. And I'm looking at these clothes and I just want to snatch them all off the hangers and throw them across the room. I was angry. I was hurt. I was sick. I didn't want to do it, but I did. And so allow yourself to have those moments where you are hurt, where you are sick, where you are angry. It's okay. You just can't live there. You can be there for a minute because that's real. Nothing about battling anything, battling any big thing we have in our life, from divorce to death to trauma, is going to be easy. We're not the only ones punching. They're punching us. And so we're reeling sometimes. We're sick sometimes. We are injured. We're hurt. And so you can have that. What got me through, to be honest, even more than shoes, because shoes got me through, is faith. And so my faith is with God. But it doesn't have to be your faith. It doesn't have to be God. It can be the universe. It can be Mother Nature. It can be whatever it is that you believe, because I believe that all of that supports us and undergirds our growth and our fulfillment. And so I leaned on my faith. I leaned on the knowledge that this was something that I had to go through. And the only way through it is through it. But there was an other side. There was a beginning and there would be an ending. And so if I tell you guys that you have an ending to your sorrow, you have an ending to your suffering. Every cloud runs out of rain at some point. So we went into the gathering clouds, but then we came out of the clouds into a better day. And we know ourselves better because we've been through this. Now we know we're strong. Now we know we can do it. We know that there's something deeper within us because of what surrounds us. And that's faith for me. That's family for me. That's friends. And that's a little bit of finesse. You got to have a little bit of finesse about it. That's shoes and clothes. And it's an attitude of, I'm going to make it through. And if I don't make it through, the way I went through will help somebody else. So that's what hold on to.
That is powerful. That is so powerful, because it's like the gathering of clouds. The gathering of clouds that it's just speaking to the whole survival process. And so even on those worst days, when you just didn't even feel like getting dressed, you were angry, mad, upset, nothing was working. And you're telling people it's okay to be that way.
You
It's
just
okay.
can't live there.
Those feelings are okay. And I think that is sharing a good message because, even in coaching and in life coaching, when you're talking to people, sometimes I think people misunderstand the fact that you can still be human, even though you're hurting, even though you're challenged, you still have to be yourself. And you build that abundance of faith and those things around you to get you through, but you still have to be who you are. And so often people don't understand that it's okay, again, like I say, to cry. And the tears may eventually, you will laugh, but whatever you're feeling, those are your feelings. No one can take those feelings away from you. And you have to express that. And I've learned that when you can express your feelings in a safe way, in a very, very safe way. And I like your point when you said literally in the closet. And I tell you why I like that, because those of us who spend a little time in the closet, if you spend a little time in your closet anyway, closets have a lot of secrets, but closets reveal a lot. You walk into somebody's closets and you really get to see how they live truly.
Yes.
Closet can say a lot of things. If it's unorganized, if it's color coded, if you've got a space for this and you got one side for the shoes, one side for the jewelry, it just depends, and now they're building all these fancy closets.
Yes.
With people who have the space in their homes. But back to my point, when you make your closet your safe space, a haven, you can use that for whatever purpose. And I think that's important. You used your closet. So when you were in there getting ready to pull out clothes to see what you wanted to wear, hey, that's your personal space.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's your own personal space. You can take a blouse, a shirt, a skirt, whatever, dress, throw it, flip it, grab those shoes. You made a point to do that in your closet. And I picked up on that, and that's in the book as well. That your closet was, your safe space where you could release. Am I right?
Yeah. I spent some time on the floor in the closet. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I say, people use the closet for different things. I mean, I have to just interject and say this. I have had people to tell me that they have actually used the closet to, like, maybe you got a child or something that's going on. They go in the closet and shut the door. And I've had one person to tell me during the session that, look, sometimes I just go in the closet and just to have a minute to myself, and then I can go back out. I can finish cooking. I can do whatever else I need, but I got to make it in the closet first. I mean, so it's out there now. There are a lot of us who enjoy that closet time, if the truth be told. But that is so wonderful that's where a lot of your thoughts, I'm sure, took place. You had a chance to think.
Yeah.
Came out of that closet with whatever you chose to put on that day.
Yeah. It was a process. It was a process, a lot of days. And so really a lot of my writing has to do with encouraging people as they go through. I believe that I go through a lot of the challenges of my life to share them with other folks to say, you can make it through. I've been in similar situations. No two situations are exactly alike. I've been through trauma. I've been through drama. I have a blended family. I have 3 stepsons. They're adults now. My daughter is actually an adult now, which is crazy to me. And she lives, in a different city, and that's trauma. That's trauma. Yeah. Anyway, but a lot of what I write about is how you get through. And so this the first book that I wrote, No Less Worthy. No Less Worthy is a coming of age story. And so it's really to help our teenagers get through the mean girls and the bad boys and the cycles of poverty and abuse that are prevalent with our children. And so it just kind of shows them that all this drama happens in a lot of families, and it's how you go through it, even as a young person, and having just a little bit of knowledge that what you need to overcome is already in you. You can overcome hard things. I tell my daughter this: you can do hard things. You just have to do them. And yes, we can cry about them and we can complain about them, but eventually you have to address them, and you can make it through.
And that was your first book.
Yes.
That was the first book. Okay.
Yes.
The No Less Worthy. You wrote about that, and that addresses a lot of issues raising children. So that's a very good point there. And that way it helped you to be even more prepared when it was time to write the memoir of your breast cancer survival. It gave you some things to think about because you had a couple of years to process it. And being a writer, I get it. You know, when you've got a base already started, it empowers you even more. Well, Dorchelle, before we go, I know you've shared a lot. You shared a lot about the history of things and how you proceeded to go forward. But is there anything that you would really like to leave the audience with in terms of maybe I don't like to call them tips, but maybe there's just some things that someone might have a lot of questions, and you may know resources, avenues, things that you can suggest to people, just so that there's some information somewhere that's going to help them. Can you do that for the audience?
Absolutely. So, ladies, you have to get your mammograms. You have to get your mammograms. You have to get them annually. But when you get your mammogram, if your mammogram comes back and says you have dense breast tissue, as many women who are Black and brown do, and not only Black and brown women, but many women who are Black and brown have very dense breast tissue. What that really means is that the test is inconclusive. They can't see. And so what you have to do is ask for an MRI. You have to ask for an ultrasound. Ask for something more definitive. If your test comes back and says dense breast tissue, don't let that be it. That is how that's how my cancer was missed. No one saw it, and it had gone all the way into my lymph node. So ask for more. So get your mammograms. If you have dense breast tissue, ask for either an ultrasound or an MRI. Insurance will only cover that after you've had the mammogram. So don't go in asking for it. And then take care of yourself. Trust what you think. When I say that, what I mean is we're going to ask people, oh, girl, what you think about that? And honey, what do you think that means? But there's something inside of you. You know your body. You know how you're supposed to feel. You know how you felt yesterday. You know how you're supposed to feel. Respect that. Listen to that. Go see the doctor. Don't be scared of going, because what you don't know can kill you. So go and find out, and then you're armed with the information to fight and wage your own battle against whatever it is. And that goes for your emotional health, your mental health, your spiritual health, and your physical health. You know how you're supposed to feel. You know how you're not, you know when something is wrong. Address it. You got this.
Mm-hmm. So you have to pay attention to your body and the awareness. And most recently, I think they're coming out with encouraging women, when you do get your mammogram and it shows dense breasts, because they didn't do that for a long time. And I've been, having mammograms for a long, long time. And I know now they're just saying it point blank in the report when they send it back. If you have dense breasts, like you say, but it's up to the individual to follow up. And, here again, I don't know if this was your case, if there was a history, if there had been any history of breast cancer, but then that's even more of the reason, would you say?
Yeah. Yes, but even in my case, so I have family history of cancer, but I don't carry the gene. I don't carry the BRCA gene. That's a test that they'll do and see if you're predisposed to it. Not predisposed to it. Nonetheless, cancer runs in my family, which is why I started having mammograms early. So,
Okay.
but if they can't find it because they stop with density, then you're sort of
Exactly. Yeah,
nowhere.
you don't know. That's why it's even more important to follow up, even if they tell you that, but you just still have to ask for more. So I think even as women in general, we have to speak up for ourselves, and we have to ask more. We have to be more aware of what we're doing, and be more aware of the questions that we can ask the doctor. Dorchelle, this has been so informative. This has been just so great. Thank you. Thank you so very much for coming and sharing with us today. And, it's just been just a good way for us to be empowered. Here, like I say, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but your story and what you do is like year round, because it's motivational. You've got the experience to be able to talk about it and to share about it. So this is a conversation and a topic that we could talk about year round. We don't have to wait until October to do it.
That's right. But
So
you're such a wonderful host and you make things so easy. And your knowledge, your wisdom. I just feel so much better having spent some time with you. Thank you for inviting me.
you are so welcome. It has been my pleasure. It was just, like I say, very informative. It has helped me, and I know that it has touched the hearts and minds of our listeners. And, let's have you back again sometime.
I
I
would
know
love.
you do. Listen, I read the background. You've got a whole lot of other stuff that we didn't really touch base on. But hey, you have great empowerment. You've done some marvelous things in the city of Memphis. I mean, congratulations to those things. We didn't really talk about them, but Memphis has a jewel in you as a person, for all that you have done. And I would love for you to, when we can, get you back. And again, we can talk about some other things and incorporate this, but there is much more about Dorchelle Spence that we could continue to talk about today. Well, listen, thank you again so much for coming. And we're going to look to follow up with you again in the future. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back in a minute. Stay tuned.
Are you growing in the direction of your aspirations? Did you know your life's journey is shaped by the choices you make today? Now is the time to invest in yourself to grow, elevate, and upgrade your life. In Life Skills for the Journey, Gloria Sloan offers a transformational guide to unlocking your full potential. Blending practical tools, inspirational wisdom, and proven life skills, this book empowers you to take control of your future with confidence and clarity. From decision-making to self-discovery, from vision to action, this book is your blueprint for personal growth. And now, you can go deeper with the Life Skills for the Journey Companion Workbook, a powerful tool filled with practical exercises, reflective prompts, and engaging challenges designed to help you apply these principles to your own life. Your personal development is your life. It's your evolution. Take the next steps in becoming the best version of yourself. Your journey starts now. With Life Skills for the Journey and its companion workbook, it's time to invest in yourself and lead the life you were meant to live. Available now on Amazon.
Hello, and welcome back to the Gloria Show. Thank you so much again for joining us. We had a wonderful conversation today with Dorchelle Spence. She talked about her history and being a 7-year breast cancer survivor, and just shared so much more. It was more than just an interview. It was a conversation. It was a talk about how she got through when she was diagnosed. And she left us with even much more, because she talked about the awareness of the test and things that we can start asking for when we do have the mammograms. But just being aware, knowing your body. And it spoke a lot. It spoke a lot to the person who is a breast cancer survivor. And maybe we have many out there who are listening and watching this show. And I'm sure you have a story too. If you have a story, if you have information, if you have things that you went through, the challenges, tell your story. It's okay to do that. Other people need to hear. Other people need to listen to what you encountered. It's your story. And it could be the help and the empowerment that someone else might need, someone else might be going through. So it's okay. Tell your story. Tell your story to yourself, and then tell your story to someone else. And I say to yourself because a lot of times the personal self is the first person to be able to listen to you. And that is the beginning of creating a good storytelling person. You have to first be able to tell your story to yourself. And once you can do that, then you prepare yourself to go out and share the story with others. But again, if you are a breast cancer survivor, or if you have been recently diagnosed, or if you know of someone who has an empowering story, something to share that is going to enlighten and help someone else, share it. Because just like Dorchelle, someone out there might be able to be empowered, whatever that is, to get you through the next step, the next day, to help with what you're dealing with family, a career. And again, we're talking about personal growth and personal development, because even coming out as a survivor and going through what you're doing, you still have your personal growth and your personal self that you want to embark on. And you can share that in so many, many, many ways. So again, if you are challenged or looking to speak or talk with someone, you're welcome to contact us at The Gloria Show. You can do that. If you have a story or you have information, that's what we're here for. This is a personal development podcast, and there are all avenues of how we want to reach people. We want to talk to people. We want to let them know that personal growth is ongoing. It's just not one thing, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you have survived in life. Personal growth continues on and on and on. And so we welcome that here on the Gloria Show. So that's been our wrap up. But now I want to tell you about the future of what's going on the Gloria Show. We're here every other Tuesday now. And so on November the 11th, I want to tell you about a return guest who is coming in with some exciting information. Lisa Hammett, the positive intelligence coach. And Lisa was on the show last year, and she just left us with a mark that, we just have to have her back. And she's agreed to come back in 2 weeks. She's going to be here on November the 11th. And I hope that you will join me at that time. And then we do have other exciting guests lined up throughout the end of the year. And we want you to just, put us on your calendar and follow me on Facebook, follow me on LinkedIn, and you can always reach me on YouTube, Gloria Sloan Life Coach, at Gloria Sloan Life Coach is the handle that you can always reach me. We want you to please like, follow, and subscribe to The Gloria Show. That way you're notified, you don't miss on anything. And we want to be able to open the doors to many conversations as we all are continuing to grow and to become even better and better and better. No matter where you are in life, there is still something else that you can embrace and do. And that's what we talk about on the Gloria Show. So please, with all of the social media outlets, we are in a new season now, and I am just so thrilled that, what we're doing on the show now, giving us more time, more space to embrace what we do, what we talk about, the audiences that we reach. And it has some meaning. It has direct meaning. And we want to do that. And also, I want you to check out Life Skills for the Journey, second edition, and the companion workbook. There's a lot of talk going on about that, and you're going to hear more about it. But Life Skills for the Journey, second edition, is really a book that, I put heart and soul into, and it brings out a lot of things that we talk about indirectly on the show, but it's more of a guide, a skillful guide on personal growth and development. But what has made it even better is the companion workbook. The companion workbook is, again, I have to tell you, such an add to the Life Skills for the Journey. So I'm just saying, you can find them both on Amazon, and you will not be disappointed in the step that you can take, no matter where you are. And I tell people all the time, people say, well, Gloria, we've already done this. I've got a career in this. I've done that. I'm excelled in so many things. It's okay. I'm happy, and I'm glad that you're there. But remember, personal growth and personal development is ongoing. Just because you've arrived and you've had a great professional career, that's great, and I'm still wishing you all the best, hoping you're doing great things, making all the money you want to make and doing everything you want to do. But keep in mind, there is still something else. I truly believe that. And that's why I'm just always going to keep saying ultra successful people never stop reaching for new heights. They never do. And if you look around in the world and you find someone who's continuing to do this, to do that, no matter what age, where they are, it's because they believe it too. Ultra successful people never stop reaching for new heights, learning new things, no matter how educated you are, no matter how you have come to the heights of where you are in a career. It could be a simple thing, but my whole point is, if you have all this, share it. You're walking around with all this knowledge and everything, share it. That's what I did, and that's what I'm continuing to do. And that's why I wrote Life Skills for the Journey, second edition. And that's why I got a workbook, companion workbook, to help people, to guide them, to give them some steps and some opportunities to do even more, so that the more you know, the more you can go out and help and tell somebody else. That's how I look at it. No, really. The more you know, the more you can share. I know I get a little carried away with this life skill stuff, but that's me. That's who I am, and I don't apologize for it. I'm going to continue to push it every chance I get on the Gloria Show. I want to thank you so much for being with me today and for coming every other Tuesday. And again, contact me, Gloria at gloriasloan.com. Go to the website, gloriasloan.com. Follow me on all the social media handles. Let me know what you're thinking, what you're feeling. And, it could be that you have a story that you may want to even bring to the Gloria Show. Let us know that too. Thank you so very much. And until next time, remember, ultra successful people never stop reaching for new heights, learning new things. And you can hear all about it right here on the Gloria Show. So until next time, goodbye for now.
You've been listening to The Gloria Show. Be sure to check out www.gloriasloan.com for more tools, strategies, and inspiration. And don't forget to connect with Gloria on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Until next time, stay inspired, stay motivated, and keep moving toward your best self.